Hello. In today's lesson, I will show you how to create a Linux-based ec2 instance. The objective we're going to perform today is create an ec2 instance, and so we can launch the instance. We'll convert the private key to PuTTY using PuTTYGen and connect to the VM through the PuTTY. So let's get started. Now we'll go to the AWS console for login. So here is AWS console, and on the upper right corner, we can click sign into the console. And I have a root user created for myself. I just click next, login, and the security checks. Hopefully we can get it right. So T7WBTX. We click submit. Oh, that's good. So I'll type my password for my account. Click sign in. Now we are in the AWS console, and it shows I have visited ec2 and the VPC before. I can click ec2, go to the ec2 console. You can also type ec2 here to look it up, and shows ec2 here. We can also click the service tile, and it shows all the different services that AWS provides. ec2 is at compute, and here's ec2. We can go to the ec2 console. Now we are in the ec2 console. It shows 0 instance running, and I do have 1 instance there which is terminated. I created 1 instance before and I killed it. So we'll go to launch a new instance. Click here, launch instance, and we'll choose Amazon Linux 2 AMI because Linux AMI by Amazon has pretty good support for the inside the AWS ecosystem. So we just select that, and here we are going to choose an instance type. There's a feature eligible for T2 micro. It's really good to use free tier for the exercise, so I'll keep that as default. Go to the next config instance details. By the details page, we want to create a 1 instance, and the network going to still stay with the default VPC, and AWS gave tours for that region, which is North Virginia, US East 1. You can choose a region that's close to you, where it depends on where you stay. And the subnet on that region, it has 6 data centers. Basically, you create 1 subnet for each data center, or easy availability zones. I don't care which one. We create the VM, so I just choose no preference. On the public IP, we do want to have a public IP so we can connect to the VM later on. So we keep that as enabled. That's default by the subnet settings. Also, what else? Keep everything as a default. There's a user data at the bottom, which you can use to bootstrap some functions for the VM, like download install some component. We'll skip that and save that for next practice. So next we're going to go to add storage, and here you can see we have root storage for 8 gig. The volume type is SSD, GP2, and everything looks good. We'll choose to keep the default as delete on termination. We'll delete that root volume when we terminate the VM, and keep no encryption. But you can also click here to add a new volume as ASP volume to the VM. You can choose a different size for that, but for this practice, we're not going to do that, so I will remove that. Then next, we're going to add tag. Tag is important in most of case because you do want to help you to keep track. You can use that to keep track of your cost. So for example, you can say I want to be just tag like a department. So you can track, say, hey, this is engineering engineering department goes to the tag. So for building purpose, for filtering purpose, categorize whatever it is. But that's you can also do in environment. You can also choose environment. You can use let's say this is for dev. Also, you can another tag for name. Name is good too because it will keep shows up on the ec2 console. So you can say my VM as a name. Next, we go to config security group. There, so it's gonna create a new security group, and so we have one rule for the security group, which is inbound rule for SSH, and port 22. It's sourced from 0.0.0.0/0, which means any IPs can SSH into our VM. And we saw a warning here, rules with source of NAT will allow all IP to access your instance. We recommend setting security group rules to allow access from non-IP address only. We can change this to my laptop and just restrict the access. But for this practice, we're going to skip that. And this VM is empty and not much information on the VM. So yeah, we can skip that. So we're going to click review and then launch. And it shows the same warning on the top with security group. We look it over here. T2 micro and SSH everything looks fine. Instance details, storage, and tag. We see 3 tags here, so everything looks good. Click notch, and here we'll create a private key that we can use later on to connect to the VM from remote machine through SSH. So we're going to choose I think I have existing one. I do not, so I'll create a new. Do I have one? No key found, so I can create a new one. I say that's fine. I'm going to call it my key pair. Okay, I just call it my key pair. I'm going to download the key. So I'm going to save on my machine and click launch instance. It will take a few minutes. So your instance launching. So we go to the instance, and it shows it's still pending. We'll give it a couple more minutes for the instance to come up, and we can come here. We can click refresh, get the native status. Still pending. A couple more minutes. In the meantime, maybe I can go to prepare the private key through PuTTY. So let me do that. I'll click here, do search. There's a PuTTY. We can load the key pair we just downloaded from download all file types. Sort by date, sort by date. Where is it? Interesting. Oh, here, my key pair. So that's good. It's right there, and the time looks right. So open up. Successful. Imported the key. So I say OK to that, and we want to save the private key so we can access the VM. So click that, save it. I'm going to override this previous private key. Save that. Say yes. Okay, that's good. I'm going to close that. This instance is running now, so that's awesome. It still shows status checking still initializing, so I'll give it a little bit more time, and then we'll try to connect to it. So let's try a couple more minutes. Still initializing. Let's get a PuTTY ready. So PuTTY, and we're gonna try to find the IP for the machine. So just click that instance ID. We'll have the public IP here, and copy that, and I put that in the PuTTY as the public IP and the port 22. Then we will go to the SSH and the auth node, the private key we just saved. Then we go back to check the machine, make sure the machine is ready so we can connect to it. Refresh again, still initializing. Alright, give it a little bit more time. Still initializing. Interesting. Alright, so 2 and a 2 check passed. So there's one, I'm going to show you one way to connect through the console. So you click actions here. You can choose, again, we're going to select the VM. So you look here, the name by VM shows up here. That's where the tag for the name shows up here. Action, you can click connect. ec2 instance connect, so we just choose connect. That needs you to the connection to the VM from the ec2 console. And we can show what current directory is ec2 user. We can create a file. So we have a file here. Yes, the contents is right. So this is that. So now I'm going to show you how to connect through that from PuTTY. So we got everything ready. We just click open, and they ask you, do I want to save the key? I would say no, I don't want to save it. So I log in as the user here. It shows here it's ec2 user, and I will keep that ec2 user. And now I'm logged in. Let me show the files. The files here. Cat. The content is right. So yeah, that concludes the lesson. Now it's your time to try it. Please reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.